Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I want to give a short update on the aerial root project I have currently going on with my Ficus Benjamina that you can see right here. So underneath this plastic bag there is a Ficus Benjamina. For roughly 2 weeks now I have had it under this plastic bag on and off, so I do air it every day. And the goal with this method basically is to grow aerial roots. And today I thought I'd give you a quick status update. We're really going to get a close-up on the tree, on the different aerial roots that have formed, because spoiler alert, there's a lot of aerial roots already showing. And I quickly simply also talk a little bit then afterwards what the future plans are and the next steps with this project. But I would say let's start right away with the close-up of this tree and a look at the aerial roots that have formed already. So time for the close-up of the tree. As you can see, I took the plastic bag off and we start simply with a tour around the tree, and probably can already spot a lot of the spots where new aerial roots are showing. And in a second, we're really gonna look at all the ones that I find at least quite interesting and worth looking closer at and discussing if I'm gonna keep them or not. So giving you a first overview, and I would already move the tree back, and I start with this lowest aerial root that has formed, giving you a really good close-up of it. You can see it comes from the main stem, right underneath where we cut off a previous part of the tree. And I do think I will keep this one. It is basically on the other side of the already existing aerial root. It is very close to the soil, so it probably will also be the first one to reach the soil. And I do think that this could make a nice addition to the tree on this side. So I see it in the future as very close to the trunk maybe, and this way giving it the appearance of an already older, thicker trunk. So definitely very excited about this one. I think a really good area in which it is currently appearing. If we move on a bit higher up on the trunk, you can see lots and lots of aerial roots starting to grow here. What you often have is, especially with this method that I'm using, is you get some aerial roots that actually grow upwards. Try to actually get this a bit closer here to give you a good idea. So this one actually started to grow upwards. I do think in the future it will still grow downwards, but as the entire environment in which I keep it is very moist and wet, it doesn't really have to go and find the soil right away. So right now it's just growing slightly upwards. But right underneath here, we have another great contender for an aerial root we're going to keep, namely this one here. To give you an idea where it is located, so zoom out a little bit, you see this could really easily reach the soil here, and again, a very great addition potentially to the tree in parallel to the already existing aerial root. And it would give it this very banyan style look, I would say, so like an old banyan tree with a lot of aerial roots. So also very excited about this one, and I think this one already has a good chance of growing downwards as well. So the higher up we go, the smaller actually the aerial roots start to get. So you can see here two further ones that, I mean, yeah, they could potentially be interesting. I doubt, however, that they will reach all the way down. And we will have another one here, probably in a good spot already, even though we could go for a more diagonal part here to reach the soil, which could also look interesting. So instead of this one going straight down, we could focus on a bigger or a higher up aerial root here and have it reach the soil. So of course I will keep it on at the moment just to keep our options open on this tree. So how does it look on side branches? Unfortunately, the side branches, they don't form that well, I must say, the aerial roots. So on this main side branch here, I don't see any aerial roots yet forming, unfortunately. But if we go up the main trunk line still, I do believe I saw before one or two smaller aerial roots still. Let me see, yes, here. Hope you can spot this one. So this one is very high up in the canopy to give you an idea on where in the tree it is. It's quite difficult to spot actually, but again, potentially a nice area here where we can then go downwards and work with this as well. So if we look at it, it could reach the soil basically in the middle of the pot. So from up here down, and could be a great addition to what I consider the back of the tree and fill out this area here actually quite nicely. So already also a good potential aerial root very high up on the tree. And I think it is actually the highest one. I didn't see any other ones forming up here. If I check right now, you can still see on the foliage actually that it is quite humid where I keep it. So I sprayed it yesterday and you can still see the moisture on some of the leaves. So it's definitely a great environment to grow those aerial roots. And as I said, 2 weeks and this has appeared on the tree. So a lot of new aerial roots. Hopefully we will be able to let them reach the soil, solidify, and basically then look like this one we already have right here in the back, which gives you a good idea on how these aerial roots will then look like on a Ficus Benjamina if you let them grow. They reach the soil, they get woody, as you can see, they almost look then very trunk-like. Of course, this one also still quite thin in comparison, but in the future we'll get a nice thick aerial root here. I'm very, very certain about that. So I think that was all the aerial roots that have formed until now, but I think in the next couple of weeks there will still be some other ones showing. As you can see, the tree is back underneath the plastic bag where it is for the majority of the day actually. The plans for this tree and how it's going to go on with the next couple of weeks, I would say, is to keep it under this bag until the roots really start to reach the soil. Probably even a couple of days more than that when I really see the roots starting to get really woody and barky, and definitely they will be able to hold the moisture and they won't dry out when I take off the bag. I would estimate that this will probably still take a couple of weeks. It is definitely considerably slower than the last time I did this in spring. So if you have the chance, maybe go for this rather in spring, not in autumn. I do see it takes quite a long time this time for the roots really to form and to also then grow and reach the soil. But it is of course a long-term project, but of course also the reward of getting a lot of aerial roots on this tree is definitely worth the wait. So I will keep you updated on this tree. If you have any questions, of course, leave them in the comments. I'll answer them as soon as I see them. Hopefully I will see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.